What if a single pill could restore the liver? What if that pill held the key to unlocking a market worth tens of billions of dollars? How far would you go to bet on that possibility? This story begins in the quiet town of Daesh, eastern France, where a biotechnology company named Inventiva has placed its entire resources on one investigational drug, lanifibranor. Inventiva targets a disease known as metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis, or MASH. This condition involves fat accumulation in the liver, accompanied by inflammation and fibrosis, and can ultimately lead to cirrhosis or liver cancer. Treating MASH is particularly difficult because it often coexists with obesity, diabetes, and dyslipidemia. Until very recently, there had been no FDA-approved treatment for this condition. Lanifibranor is a once-daily oral small molecule drug designed specifically to treat MASH. It is a pan-PPAR agonist, meaning it simultaneously activates three nuclear receptors, PPAR alpha, PPAR delta, and PPAR gamma. Each receptor modulates key pathways in metabolism, inflammation, and fibrogenesis. Targeting all three at once offers a mechanism that theoretically addresses the disease's root causes. To prove the drug's efficacy, Inventiva launched the NATiV3 Phase 3 global clinical trial in 2021. The trial enrolled patients with moderate to advanced fibrosis without cirrhosis and used a stringent dual primary endpoint: histological resolution of MASH and improvement in fibrosis, confirmed via liver biopsy. But then in March 2024, a shockwave hit the market. Madrigal Pharmaceuticals announced that its drug, resmetirom, brand name Resdifra, had received accelerated FDA approval for MASH, the first ever in the space. While this was a win for the field, it put intense competitive pressure on Inventiva. At the same time, Inventiva made an unexpected move. It voluntarily paused patient screening and randomization in the NATiV3 trial due to a SUSAR, a suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction. In most cases, such a decision would be prompted by a regulatory body or an independent data monitoring committee. But Inventiva acted on its own initiative, revised the trial protocol and consent forms, and resumed the trial after obtaining approval from a central IRB in the United States. This sequence of a self-imposed halt followed by rapid resumption is extremely rare in the biotech world. It suggests one of two things. Either the company detected a manageable but urgent safety signal and acted preemptively, or it encountered a deeper problem it wanted to contain before external scrutiny. No detailed disclosure has been provided, leaving investors with a lingering mystery. What exactly triggered such a bold decision? And was it truly an act of prudence or one of necessity? In April 2025, Inventiva announced the completion of patient enrollment in NATiV3, with a higher-than-expected number of participants. The company guided that top-line results would be available in the second half of 2026. But this timeline raised a new concern. How would Inventiva stay solvent until then? To answer that question, one must look at the company's unconventional fundraising strategies. In July 2024, Inventiva raised €20 million by issuing royalty certificates tied to 3% of future lanifibranor revenues. These types of deals are usually executed only after a drug is approved. Doing it this early indicates significant cash flow stress. In October 2024, the company secured a structured equity financing agreement worth up to €345 million. It drew down €116 million in December 2024 and another €116 million in May 2025. These disclosures were timed during pre-market hours, possibly to minimize market disruption. Separately, the company also executed a €25 million second tranche loan from the European Investment Bank in January 2024. All of this culminated in a dramatic internal restructuring. In February 2025, Inventiva announced layoffs affecting half of its workforce and terminated all preclinical programs. From that point on, the company would focus exclusively on lanifibranor. Such a decision is virtually unheard of in this industry, where most biotech firms rely on diversified pipelines to spread risk. Inventiva's move is either a strategic masterstroke or a last stand. This raises three urgent questions. First, was the SUSAR-related pause truly unrelated to the drug's safety profile? The answer may be critical when regulatory agencies assess approval. Second, given the forward selling of future revenues and equity dilution, how much long-term value can actually be captured if lanifibranor succeeds? And third, In a post-approval landscape already shaped by Resdifra, can lanifibranor prove its differentiation through superior efficacy, broader metabolic benefits, or cardiovascular outcomes? All of this will hinge on the NADT3 top-line data, expected in the second half of 2026. Until then, we're left connecting the dots from protocol amendments, financial maneuvers, and structural gambits, trying to decode what lies ahead. If, in the end, lanifibranor redefines the standard of care for MASH, then all of this may be seen as visionary groundwork. If not, it may become a cautionary tale of concentrated risk. If any of our viewers have public, private, or pre-IPO stocks or crypto assets they believe deserve our attention, leave a comment below. Your tip could shape our next investigation. This was ValueStir.